Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today it's time for a new monthly plan with me video in my Hobonichi cousin. And we're gonna set up these very bright and summery pages together to prepare for the upcoming month. Then at the end of the video, we'll also flip through all the May pages and chat a bit about how I've been using my journal this past month. I'm a little bit late with this video, which I'm very sorry about, and the reason is that I really wanted to use my new summer collection products for this June theme, and I was waiting for some of these to arrive. My shop's summer launch is actually on the same day that this video goes live, so all the products are already available, and a link to that will be in the description as always. The new summer collection is very tropical, lemons, beaches, and turtles inspired, and I really hope it will give you some inspiration in the upcoming summer months. However, to create a similar theme, you don't need all of these products, so whatever you have at home that matches the colors and vibes will be more than enough. I'll also show you a few simple doodles later in the video, in case you're not looking into buying new stuff at the moment. But I think that's enough for an intro, and now let's jump to the cover page, which I use these extra pages for in the daily section. In my mind, these cover pages just serve as general decoration pages that combine a lot of the monthly colors and decorations and serve as a kind of preview of the pages to come. I was really indecisive about which decorations to go for here, so I went with this formula that I realize I often gravitate towards on these cover pages, which is using one vertical stripe of some sort of paper pattern on one side of the page and then adding a few decorations on top of it. I wanted to focus more on the turtles and beachy vibes on this one, and then we'll do more of a lemon-inspired spread on the monthly calendar. I really wanted to use this bigger turtle sticker here because I think it might be a little bit too big for many of the other pages. I also think that any of the other paper patterns or even some sort of scribble text paper would look really good here, but I like the marine vibes that this vertical striped one gives. Then I was trying to choose which one of these paper labels or text things I wanted to use here, and eventually I went with this bigger white lemon themed paper and used the turtle towards the top of the page. I personally like to use the white vinyl stickers mostly for layered decorations because the washi stickers or clear stickers might show the pattern underneath a little bit, but they do create a much more invisible sticker look, as you can see with this palm tree, for example, which is a washi sticker. But anyway, I really didn't want to go overboard here and mess up everything by adding too many things. So after adding this color palette and some sparkle stickers, I decided to leave the page like this. It looks a little bit empty, but I think filling the page next to it will completely transform this whole spread. But now let's jump to the back of my journal, and I want to show you a few brush pen colors that I think will suit this collection. First of all, I think pretty much any yellow will work, but I chose this lighter yellow called Lemon Cream and this slightly more golden yellow, which is called Light Orange. Same thing with the green colors, pretty much anything works, but I chose Asparagus, which is one of my favorite Tombow brush pen colors, and Dark Olive, which is a color I also used the past month. Then I wanted one light blue to match all the blue tones in this collection, and I think sky blue was probably the best match. And then I picked up this much darker petrol blue or turquoise color, which is called Jade Green. Then if you want to add some kind of bluish green, I think Holly Green is a good option. And also there are some peachy tones in this collection as well, so some kind of peachy coral pen might be a nice accent if you need a break from all the other colors. I've tried to choose a good balance of light and dark pens these past months because I found that the light colors are not very good for big titles. So those are mainly for title backgrounds, dividers, or maybe some light decorations, and then the darker pens are really good for writing. Then I've been choosing a colored ink for the daily sections, which I always change for each month. And I think this time I'm gonna go with my oldest colored ink, which is Miruai from the Sailor Shikiori collection. This is an almost black, greenish blue color. It's really beautiful, and I thought it would look nice with the darker blue colors in this collection. However, I also think that some kind of blue or green ink would be a perfect match as well. I think the blue I have might be slightly too blue for this theme, but the same green color that I've been using this past month, which is Tokiwamatsu from the same Sailor collection, would also be a very good match. But since I don't want to use the same color for 2 months in a row, I think Miruai will be my choice. Then before we move on to the monthly calendar, I quickly filled my theme overview page. If this is not my first Plan With Me video you've seen, you're probably very familiar with my monthly routine. So I pretty much do the same things in every video. I'm still not sure how I feel about this page. It kind of gives me a headache whenever I see it, but I feel like I've committed to this for too long for me to just stop doing this every month. So I tried to use some small stickers and combined the monthly colors in this small space. But now let's flip to the beginning of the journal and decorate this monthly calendar spread. I use these monthly calendars to mark all my work-related deadlines, like videos or shop releases, and I also use it as my content calendar. I started here by using some of these weekly title stickers and covering the daily numbers to add a little bit of color to this spread, and then we can start adding some decorations. I wanted to use this new lemon washi tape on the bottom edge. I actually had lemons in my summer collection 2 years ago, and it's one of the most requested things to bring back. I still get questions about the old lemon stickers and washi tape, so this time I ordered a little bit extra just to have this in stock a little bit longer. I decided to combine the lemons here with this blue water reflection paper pattern, and I usually like to cover the monthly information in the top corner and add these bits and pieces all over the spread. This time the month starts on a Sunday, so there was a lot of empty space here at the top, which I filled with some stickers again. We're also gonna write a June title on this random cream paper that I found from my printed paper collection. And I left the 31st Saturday empty here too, which is actually today, because I wanted to mark the summer launch here, even though I already did it on the previous monthly spread as well. But then before we finish with this calendar, I thought we could take a small doodle break where I could show you just a few very simple things that I think go well with the style of this collection. So let's start with some very quick cute lemons that I'm gonna draw using 3 different brush pens, but you really only need 1. So I'm using the middle yellow color to first draw out these lemon shapes while leaving a small white spot that we can use for a highlight. Then we'll take out a lighter yellow that we'll use to color the white highlight, which will also blend the edges a little bit better. And lastly, you can choose a slightly darker yellow or orange to draw an outline for the lemon, or just darken the shadow side a little bit. After that, we can draw some small cute leaves using pretty much any green you have available, and I'm using the asparagus color here. Then let's draw a sliced lemon, which I decided to show against the edge of the page, because I thought this would be a fun doodle for the side of the page or maybe under a divider or something like that. So I'm taking that same mid yellow and starting by drawing these rounded triangular shapes while trying to leave a small white sliver between the shapes. Then we'll draw this half circle around the triangles while again leaving a small white gap in between. After that, you can choose to darken the edges with a darker color again, or even use a black pen like a micron pen if you want this to be more defined. And of course, you don't need to draw this on the side of the page. You can draw it wherever or even make a full circle using the same technique. And then lastly, I wanted to show you a very simple way to draw a plumeria flower, which I've used a lot in the summer collection. For this one, we need a thin black pen, and I'm starting by drawing 5 pretty rounded petals, while always leaving a little bit of the shape unfinished, so that we can create the next petal overlapping the previous one. When you've drawn 4 to 5 petals like this, you can then take your pen and draw a small fold on the same side of all the petals, which I think is going to create the plumeria flower effect. After that, you can choose a very light yellow or orange to add a little bit of color in the middle, and then take a darker orange or even a red shade and add this one even closer to the middle, and maybe blend these 2 colors together by going over the same area with a lighter color once more. After that, you can take any green color again to add some optional leaves around the flower, and maybe add a finishing touch with a black pen. So those are some very simple doodles for those of you who don't necessarily want to use stickers, or even for times when you maybe run out of stickers, or maybe just don't have the exact size or shape that you need for a specific spot on the page. I really hope that little doodling break was helpful, and now let's finish the monthly calendar and move on to the May flip through. I started by listing all of my YouTube video plans here, and I like to use these colorful labels for that. I love using the TWSBI monthly kits and icon stickers on these pages, and especially also on the weekly spreads and sometimes on the daily pages too. I'm just a huge fan of their stickers. I'm actually waiting for a big order to arrive, so I'll have even more of their stickers for any occasion. Unfortunately, we are going to skip the weekly plan with me video in June. I don't think I'll have time to film one next week, and it would mostly just be packing anyway, so I don't think it would be very interesting. I also have a bad habit of not using my journal during the busiest first week after a new launch, so that might be happening again next week. I'm also planning to take a real summer vacation this year, which I'm very excited about. I usually take a short break during the summer when I close my shop for a few weeks, And this year I'll be traveling back to Finland, which is my home country, to visit my friends and family. And if you're wondering about the shop closing days, all that information is already up on my website, and I'll also post about it later on Instagram and YouTube. I'll need to close the shop a couple of days before I leave so I can make sure all orders are shipped before my travel. I'm also hoping to film the next Plan With Me video and maybe even start filming the upcoming reading journal video before I go, just to get a bit of a head start for early July. But I think that's all I'm gonna set up on the monthly calendar for now. I'll keep filling it with the social media content plans, even though I've been kind of avoiding Instagram lately. I've been feeling the same way I did with TikTok a few years ago. I just find myself spending way too much time scrolling through reels, and I'm just at the point where I don't even want to open the app anymore, but I won't go into all of that right now. I'm still not sure how I'm gonna use the upcoming weekly spread, since it will be my packing marathon week, so I might use it a little bit differently than usual. So that's why I don't want to set it up in this video, and instead we can jump straight to the May flip through so you can see how I've been using these pages. In May, I had this very fun and colorful spring flowers theme, and I used a lot of stickers, especially from Ikigai Papir, which is the shop run by Hedda from Mochibujo, and some from By Charizze, who also has a YouTube channel. I'll have both of their shops linked in the description, and you should definitely check them out. I filmed a weekly Plan With Me video for this first weekly spread and some of the early daily spreads a few weeks ago, so if you'd like to see that, along with some behind the scenes footage of my shop collection preparations, definitely check that one out. I tried to add a few more doodles to the pages this month, so you'll see some quick flower sketches mixed in with the stickers and my usual washi tapes. I also had quite a few colors to play with, so each page ended up with slightly different color combinations, but I think it still feels cohesive enough since the same colors keep popping up throughout the month. I was actually having so much fun playing with these different color combinations, so I felt like having a little bit more colors to choose from was actually kind of refreshing. Then starting from the second week, I tried skipping the task dots on the weekly pages because I found it a little bit tedious to cross off tasks here, especially when I'm rewriting the same ones on my daily pages. I know it's a small thing, but I've actually liked this approach. I still use a dot for some tasks, usually the ones I don't usually rewrite on the daily pages for some reason. I don't know, I have this system in my head that doesn't really make sense when I explain it, but it works for me when I actually use the journal. So this is actually the current week, and I think the colors match pretty well with the June theme. So I guess it works as a nice in-between weekly spread. Anyway, then let's flip over to the daily section where we'll start with the monthly cover and then move on to the daily scribbles. I've been using the daily pages in pretty similar way to the past months, but you might notice I used a lot of big stickers and decorations this time. I guess partly because I had a lot of fun stickers on hand, but also because I didn't feel super motivated to write or journal every morning. So a big sticker helped to cover up some of that daunting empty space. I try not to pressure myself to fill every single page, but sometimes instead of leaving it blank, I like to just add a few decorations instead. There were also a few days when I used these no time to write stickers and quite a few pages that I also filled in afterwards. So I didn't necessarily write every day on that actual day. So some mornings I just sit down and write my task list and then get started with work. And then if I have a little bit more time on the next morning or even on the afternoon, I might go back and write a little bit about the previous day. I've also occasionally kept using my journaling prompts that I have at the back of the journal, and I've been playing around with different flower doodles and colorful text titles here as well. Those are also a great way to highlight something special that happened or just to fill some empty space on the pages. For a few days here, I tried highlighting the most important tasks with a brush pen color, and I kind of liked this method. When I have many things on my to-do list, I feel like it helps to highlight just 2 or 3 of them to keep myself focused and make sure I get the most important stuff done first. I didn't keep up with this every day. I think I just kind of forgot, honestly, but I think I want to continue this moving forward. I've also been thinking about separating work and kind of daily personal life tasks a little bit more, just to encourage myself to write about the non-work related things. I've noticed a lot of these pages are very work heavy and I forget to document some of the everyday life stuff. I think I've done a better job of that on the weekends, which I've been trying to keep completely free of work, but outside of that, I think I could definitely improve. I filmed this last part of the video very conveniently on May 31st, so for once you get to see the entire month in the flip through. I like to end every month with a little monthly reflection where I write down my overall thoughts about the previous month. I used to always do this in my bullet journal, so it's just one of those habits that I've wanted to keep in this planner too. But I think that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed watching and maybe got some new ideas or inspiration for your own journaling. I know this video was pretty focused on my own shop products, but I promise to mix it up again in the upcoming months. And if this was your first time around here and you'd like to stay tuned for more, please consider subscribing. I'm now gonna go continue prepping for my shop launch, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye!